If you are sending Loom videos and you're trying to generate leads and you are getting ghosted, this video is for you, my friend. Now, in this video, I'm going to be explaining the 6-step process that you can go and copy and use yourself to help you start generating 3 to 5 high qualified meetings on a weekly basis. And this is what I use. This is what my clients use. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to try and explain all of this within 5 minutes. So here's a few results. You probably can't see that, but that's where I've actually sent out some Loom videos on LinkedIn messages and emails, and we've got positive responses, had people booked in, and some of these have actually become a client. You can see a more detailed analysis of all those on my other videos, but just to show you that it works. But so why do we actually send Loom videos? So the main goal, in my opinion, to send a Loom video out to a potential prospect is to put a face to a name, because we all know that we can send messages on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or email, and it will literally just say your name. That's the only thing that they know about you. So with the Loom videos, what we're trying to do is to make sure that these people do not think you're just a robot and they actually know that you're a human, pretty stacked human right there. So the success formula is pretty simple, and I'm going to go through each one step by step, but the number 1 is building a qualified and quality lead list. Number 2, optimize setup. Number 3, actually recording the Loom. Number 4, delivering the Loom. Number 5, following up. And then number 6, tracking and optimizing. So I call building the lead list sharpening your axe before you cut down the tree. So if you've ever heard that analogy, so I would rather spend 3 hours sharpening the axe and spending 1 hour cutting down the tree than spending 6 hours just cutting down a tree with a blunt axe. So when you're doing any form of lead generation campaign, when it's called outreach, you need to make sure that the lead list is good, because if the lead list is terrible, you're going to get terrible results. If the lead list is good, you're going to get good results. So everything trickles down from that lead list. So we need to make sure that the lead list has got your ideal customer profile and actually have, decision makers. For example, if you're targeting B2B, you need to be reaching out to decision makers. So spending more time on actually sharpening that axe and making sure that your lead list is very good and it's high quality, and you're not going to get bounces when you send emails, for example. That is going to help you in the long run when you are launching your campaign. It sounds an obvious one, but a lot of people overlook that. So the setup, right? The setup, I'm talking about the physical setup. So when you're actually recording a Loom and you can see yourself in the corner, and by the way, you need to have your face in the corner. Like if you're not willing to get your face in the corner, then you're going to struggle unless you're very articulate and you have so much case studies and so much proof that it doesn't really matter about you showing your face. Generally, you're probably going to have to show your face. So with that being said, aside from that, the setup is paramount. So you need to have a clear camera, and I'm not saying that you need like a professional camera that I'm using right now. It just needs to have a good high quality resolution. So a 4K camera or something like that, like a webcam or something, that basically to make sure that it doesn't look like you're filming from a potato, so they can actually see that you're in a professional setting. That is perfect. So as long as you've got that, you've cleaned the lens so people can actually see you, that's perfect. Now, good lighting is a bit of a sort of 50-50 one. Most people overlook this. So if you've got a light and it's shining right into the camera, then they're not going to be able to see your face. So all I would say on that one is try and get some sort of natural light, or get a light that's in front of you in your face, so then they can clearly see your face. And the reason why we're doing all of this shit and we're spending time to do all this stuff, so they can see you and they can trust you. They're not going to trust you from a cold outreach if they can't see your face and the lighting's terrible, or the pixels are all off and you just look weird. It's going to help you in the long run if you just get this right. And once you've got the setup and you've got it right, then you can just go and do this every single day, like once the setup's already created. So that was the good lighting point there. And then a clean background as well. So make sure you've got you're not having people walking past in the background. You've not got your washing in the background, or if you're in an office, there's like other people walking past and it just looks a bit strange. Make sure you've got a clean background and it's not distracting. So like I said, if you are in an office or you're in a place where there's people walking around, make sure that that's not happening, because it's just going to divert attention. We want attention on you and what you're actually saying. And then the fourth point is making sure the audio is good. So if the audio is terrible and they can't hear you, then there's literally no point in actually sending the video, because you're going to be talking over things, right? So that's an obvious one. So before you actually go and record things, I always try and put my frame of mind into these two key points. So the two C's. So number one is having pure conviction. So get yourself in the frame of mind where, okay, you know, you need to obviously believe in your product or service, but you need to have pure conviction when you're speaking with your tonality, how you present yourself, how you come across. If you haven't got conviction when you're actually explaining your product and service and you're saying hello and you're introducing yourself and explaining what you do, if they're not convinced that you can go and deliver and execute, then there's no way that they will actually move forward and take that next step, which is obviously going to be like book a call or something like that. And then number 2 is to be concise. So again, before you sit down and actually think, okay, I'm going to record this Loom video, I'm going to send it to a prospect, you're probably thinking, right, I need to, you know, explain every single last detail and blah, blah, blah. The more concise you can be, the better. So just think, if you've written a script or something like that you're following, see if you can actually cut that down by 50%, and then see if you can cut it down by another 10%. And then I guarantee, instead of you sending a 20-minute Loom video, if you can cut it down to 3 to 5 minutes, which is what I always suggest people to do, then that is going to that's plenty of time. That is absolutely enough time to actually explain who you are, what you do, what the outcomes that you deliver. So conviction and be concise. So recording your Loom video. So obviously you want some sort of introduction. I've gone through on another video explaining like literally exactly what to say, and I'll show you the sort of framework that you can follow in a second. But you know, you just got to make sure that the introduction is personalized. So rather than you going straight in for the kill and just explaining like, hey, this is what we do, blah blah blah, that first 10 to 30 or 40 seconds is paramount, because if you can make sure it's personalized, then the other person can see that you've put effort in, and that goes back to the law of reciprocity. So if they can see that you've put effort in, you've done something for them, you're offering them some value, then they're more likely to respond or actually go and book a call because you've done something for them. So they feel like they've got to do something for you. So making sure it's personalized, make sure you've done the research, and then just explaining what the value proposition is and like what's the specific outcome, what's the benefit to them. And then obviously you want to sort of feed in some relevant social proof in your actual Loom video. And the CTA at the end, it needs to be absolutely crystal clear. If you've got like 3 different CTAs, so if you're telling someone to do 3 different things, someone's just going to tune out, and you know, they don't even know you, they don't trust you fully yet. So if you're telling them to do 3 different things, you're going to lose them. So make it crystal clear. Is it, you know, book a call? Is it reply yes and I'll send you this? Like whatever the CTA is, just make it easy for them to go and say yes and, you know, go and take that next step. And then I've put here, you know, show your face, which is an obvious one, but having something to share on the actual Loom video itself is going to help you, because you're sending the video for a reason, because you want to show them something. So if you're just sat there and you're just like on their website and you're not really going over to share anything, it's a little bit strange, because it's like, okay, you're doing outreach, like what does this person want? But if you're just on the website or on someone's social media handle like Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, or their landing page, then it's a little bit strange. You want to actually show them something that, you know, that is obviously related to your product and service. And I'll just quickly go over what that Loom structure looks like. Like I said, I've been over this in other videos, so I'm not going to spend too long on it, but essentially it needs to be around 3 to 5 minutes long. So you've got your hook there, which is the first 20 to 40 seconds. And then, you know, generally what I try and do is like add a little bit of humor. But the main point here is the trigger. So like, why are you actually reaching out? So, you know, you're reaching out because you've seen something about their previous work. You've seen something on their website. You've read the About Us section. You've seen a recent post. You've noticed a picture or something on their social media or a video, literally anything. There needs to be a trigger. So you need to explain that. I'm not going to go through all those details now. And then you want to go over to your social proof. So either explain the social proof. So whether it's a case study that you're going over, a testimonial, or some sort of screenshot, that's the something to share. That could be something to share. But the key thing here is having the social proof and actually explaining what the outcome is. So rather than just saying, hey, I work for company X, Y, and Z, you say, I work for company X, and this is the outcome we delivered in the time frame, for example. So that's another key point there. And then the pain as well. So you want to go into the pain. So what do they actually struggle with? What's the cost of the pain? So you can go in and explain that in very quickly. And then you want to explain what your solutions are. So what are the mistakes they're making? What are the solutions they're making? And then what's the outcome that you deliver if they actually go ahead with the solution. And then, like I said, call to action, short and sharp, book a call, reply, react, whatever it may be. So if you do want to check out that video, just go on my channel and have a look at that. So delivering the message, people get caught up on this and they think they've got to say, they think they've got to say loads of different things on the actual email itself, where you embed the actual Loom video, or you add the link for the Loom video. Generally, in my experience, just keeping it short and sharp and just saying, I've got a quick video for you, here you go. And then you just embed the Loom video. They can see your face in the little corner with the little GIF. It's just pure curiosity. It's like, it's strange that, okay, well, this person's literally on my website or they're on my social media, their face is in the corner, like smiling and waving. Like, I'm going to click on that. Like, people, we're humans, we're curiosity led. If someone says don't go into that dark room, you probably want to have a peek inside. So it's the same situation when you're sending a Loom. And then in general, delivery wise, what should you be doing? So a lot of people get caught up. Obviously, you've got email, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter. Just pick one channel and then follow up on the other channel. So for example, if you're in the B2B space and you're targeting, say, accountants, maybe reach out to them on email to begin with and then follow up on LinkedIn. I've put here as well email, because generally most people in the B2B space, you're going to use email at some point, whether it's for the first outreach method or it's for the follow-up. But generally you just want to focus on one and then actually follow up with people on a different channel, because people are just sometimes active on one channel but not so active on the other one. Just think, where does your ideal customer profile actually hang out? If they're in this sort of like, if they're creators, like social media creators, you might want to be reaching out to them on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then maybe following up on email, for example. Or you might want to do Instagram and then Facebook. Or if you're reaching out to like tech founders, you might want to reach out on Twitter and then follow up on email. So you just got to think like where your clients actually hang out. Obviously, we all know this, so 80% of the replies that you will get will come from the follow-up. So I've put, obviously, wait 3 to 5 days. Maybe you want to wait 2 to 3 days, whatever it may be. Just having a cadence that you can reach out to people with and actually have a soft touch point to actually say, have you had a chance to go and watch the video, without being too desperate. Maybe you want to add a bit of value in the follow-up, whatever you want to do. But again, I really try and reframe away from over-explaining what I've said on the Loom video, because you've spent time and energy out your day. You need to respect yourself. So if they don't want to go and watch that video where you've spent a bit of, you spent like 5 or 10 minutes actually prepping and recording it, there's no point repeating yourself. You might just have a one-liner explaining what it actually is. So don't get caught up too much on the follow-ups. So tracking the success is going to be a big one for making sure that you're not just wasting time recording terrible videos. So you just want to look at things like your view rate, the reply rate, the meeting booking rate, and of course, how many people are actually closing from sending those Loom videos. So I'm just going to break that down in terms of what it looks like. So if you've got high opens but low replies, that means you probably need to fix what is actually going on in your video content. So you might want to, so if someone's actually opening the email, but and they're opening the video, but you're not getting good replies, then you probably need to go and test the hook or the value proposition. So sometimes you may get good replies but low bookings, so that means something is wrong with your offer. So they've actually responded and they said, it's not for me. It's probably because whatever you said in that video, the offer doesn't resonate with them. So it probably doesn't resonate with your ICP, or it's an affordability question, or it's the process that you have and they've tried it before. So you need to think about like what the offer is going to be, and thinking about reducing that friction to make sure that they can actually go and book in a call. So low open rates, this is quite a big one. So if you're getting low open rates, it might mean that, one, like I said, everything trickles down from the lead list, so the targeting may be off, or the delivery mechanism might be off. So if you're doing emails, for example, and you're getting loads of bounces, then maybe you need to go and check your email is actually going through. Have you got all your records set up in the DNS records? Like, there's things that you can actually look at to make sure that those have improved. Similarly, if you're doing Instagram outreach, like you might be reaching out to people where your messages is literally just going into the request folder, so just no one's seeing it. That is why you need to do the follow-ups. So if you're getting low open rates, you need to have a look at that. So a quick action plan would literally be go and pull up the recording on Loom and see what the setup looks like. If someone can see you crystal clearly, that's fine. If they can't, then that's something needs to change, whether it's the lighting, the audio, the actual setup, like what location you're in, whatever it may be. It sounds like a silly thing to focus on, but if you've got a professional setup, people are going to treat you differently. And then, have a look at the sort of structure and the flow. If you're just going all over the place every single time you do a video, for example, if you're doing one video and you're speaking about 3 different things in different orders, and then you do another video, you're speaking about 3 different things in 3 different other orders. One, it's too much brain power for you to actually go and do that, because you just need to follow a simple structure, and then that will actually help you go and be able to bang these out and actually get them out at good quality. And then select 10 quality leads and just record the personalized Loom videos and then re-watch them yourself. Looking at the 2 C's, have you been concise enough? Do you have pure conviction when you're reaching out? And then over here, so, you want to actually go and track everything to make sure that you can actually go and change things, optimize things. Maybe you've had like a really good booking rate in one particular week, for example, say last week, then maybe you want to double down on that strategy that you've already done. And if you do want some help booking 3 to 5 high qualified leads on a weekly basis by following a very simple system for cold outreach, where we implement things like Loom outreach, then follow the instructions in the description and you'll be able to get in touch with me. And I offer one-on-one coaching, so we can go through it step by step together. So click the link in the description and I will see you on the next one. Peace.